Well, hello YouTube, back in the shop again. It's another day. I would say another dollar, but in airplanes it's probably another $100. Today in the shop is dimpling and countersinking day. Oh joy. No, actually I like it. It's just that something tells me I've got a lot of countersinking to do today. So if you remember, we have the front and rear spar. Every hole, and I would have to say there's about 150 on each side, needs to be countersunk. Countersunk is different than dimpling. Countersunk is where you're actually using a tool, a countersink bit or countersinking bit, and you're drilling it out to make it concave so it will match with the skin, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I have the pneumatic. You can hear the compressor running. But for the countersink application for this one, I'm gonna use the Ryobi or the drill instead of the pneumatic, just because of the sheer number of holes that need to be countersunk. So I've got the front and rear spar that need to be countersunk, and then all of the ribs that get mated with the skins, and the skins are over there in the corner, have to be dimpled. Now that is a process of using either the squeezer or the C-frame dimpler, which is that guy right there, and dimpling them. And that is basically you're pushing them down so the rivets will sit flush. Now the reason why you dimple the ribs is because when you dimple the skin, that's going to put a concave into the skin. And so for it to lay flat, you want its matching surface because they're going to attach to these holes. You want that to be concave as well, so that way it cups or it does that. So we've got all of those to do. And then we got to get onto the skins. So each hole in the skin, there's a few that don't get dimpled because of the because you use screws to attach things. And so I have to mark those out. I marked them out the other day if you saw that, but just in case, we're gonna go back through that and make sure we got them all marked again, put my little dots on them. So we have, I would say, almost 1,000 holes to either countersink or to dimple. So you can imagine this is gonna be a very long operation today. But like always, you know, this plane's not going to build itself, so I'm going to quit yakking and I'm going to get to work. All right, YouTube, here we go. So today we're going to countersink. We got to countersink each one of these holes in the spar all the way down. And then when we get it done and we figure out what we're doing, we got to turn it over and come all the way back up. And then when we really think we're good at it, then we get to do that guy up there. Same thing. So today is dimpling day. The way that, or countersink and dimpling. So the way you countersink, so this is a countersink, and it basically, I'll pull this back a little bit for you. It has a bit that goes into the hole, and it countersinks as you drill, and this is stopped. I have this set up. You guys have seen my other videos, and then I have it labeled, and I made sure I put my label over the increments. These are about a 1mm increment each time you turn this thread, I want to say. So I put that over to make sure that it's locked and it hasn't moved. And then there's a locking nut as well, so you lock that down. But that's why I put the tape on there, and it also tells me what size. It's a number 40. And so the whole idea is you countersink, and then it is a good idea every once, one or two, you know, every other one, or however you want to do it, just to make sure that you're not going too deep. You get your rivet here. This is the rivet, and you put it into the countersunk hole, and you make sure that it's flush. And that is the order of operation. And you don't have to do it on every one. I mean, typically that thing does not move. So as far as it moves, it rotates, but it doesn't move as far as the settings go. So, but you should get in a really good habit to check. Now, what I'm doing differently normally is I am actually using my cordless drill to do this, just because of the sheer number. And my compressor, I don't want to burn my compressor out. It is a 26 gallon compressor. It's great for doing what it needs to do in short operations, but it's horrible for doing this type of work in, because you'll just wear it out. And with the humidity, it'd just be nothing but water at the end of the day. We'll talk about that maybe in a later video, and compressors and waters and water traps. You'll see that I do have water traps on all of my benches that capture the water. We are here in Florida, and it does get a lot of water. So with that being said, I've got, as you can imagine, a lot of countersinking to do today, and also then a ton of dimpling, and then a Googleplex. Is Googleplex? Google is the word. Google is a large number. Googleplex, number of skins that I got a dimple as well. So just wanted to share that with you, and I'm not going to get this done if I don't get to work. All right, YouTube. So I did a timer. So this spar is done. Well, it's countersunk. I did a timer. I used the Ryobi, and I'll tell you, that thing is heavy. I might want to get a smaller battery if I want to do this again. And then it was wearing me out. It was kicking my butt. And so I switched over to the pneumatic. And I will have to tell you, the pneumatic cut, I did the other side 100% with the pneumatic, cut it down from 22 minutes to about 13 minutes. And that was allowing the compressor to catch up. And I will tell you, this pneumatic is a lot lighter than that Ryobi. So, and it's actually quicker. So I can tell you that the pneumatic turns at about 4,000 RPMs, where I would be shocked if that Ryobi turned more than 2,000 RPMs. The pneumatic is a lot quicker. It seems like it cuts them a lot cleaner. So I'm going to stick with the pneumatic and just make sure that I put enough intervals in there to let the compressor catch up. And I don't even know. Let's go over here and do a little experiment running. Not experiment, but let's look at something, because I know it is. So let me move this out of the way and try not to drag it across my bucking bar there. Yeah, see how much water is in the line? I can't open that up because it's a thing, but that is all water right up to there. So it's very important. Now this is a double strainer. So if you're going to use your pneumatic in a compressor, you need to make sure that you have some kind of water trap for it. Like I said, the ones that I use are the double. I open the valves all the way up because I control my airflow on the compressor itself. But these are nice to have, because if I do need to go down, there are times where I am bucking, and I turn the pressure down to about 65 and go slow and stuff. So this is nice, but on the compressor itself, I keep it all the way up. I don't use on the pneumatic. I don't use, there's a compressor, there's a setting there. I do have it adjusted, but you can also adjust it on the gun itself. But this is a double trap, and the way it works is air goes in, this valve shuts. Now when I release the air, this valve will open back up spring-wise and let all that water out. But I will tell you, by the end of the day, I'll have this one pretty much full, and this one will be filling up. So so that's about it. Just wanted to share that with you. I think like I said, I'm going to stick with the pneumatic. It is quicker. I have less chance. It's more ergonomic. I have less chance of developing carpal tunnel from it. So I'm going to stay with it and everything, and just take my time. But like I said, it cut it down from 22 minutes on when I use the Ryobi down to about 12 to 13 minutes when I use the pneumatic. And that included pauses to allow the compressor to catch up. All right, YouTube. Oh my gosh, that is almost like a milestone of doing a major component. I can tell you, I got both those spars done. I can see the scratches in the primer. I've got something coming up here. I'll talk to you guys about the primer. I still like the SEM primer. It is what it is, though. And let me just tell you, it is what I've been dragging this part across the bench and stuff, getting it for the countersinking, and it does rub off. It doesn't, this here, I just don't think I got a good coat on there, actually, to be honest with you, for those. Oh, I know what it is. It's this right here dragging across it. I just noticed that. But I got an idea with the paint. I'll share that with you guys here in the future. But oh my gosh, it is done. Everything is countersunk as far as the spars go. Now I'm gonna switch operations, and I'm gonna get the dimpling. I gotta dimple all the ribs and get those ready to go and everything, and it'll be a good break between this operation. My forearms are, I don't want to say on fire, but they are. They definitely got a workout with that. I can't imagine doing the whole operation with a drill like I wanted to originally do. There's a vast amount of difference in the weight and in the speed that pneumatic does. The main thing is just make sure you have, when you're doing that type of operations over and over again, I can't stress to make sure that you have a dryer on your airline, especially if you're here like in Florida where it's really humid, or you'll just fill your tool up with water and it'll become a squirt gun. So all right, so I'm going to put that back up on its shelf, and then we're going to switch out tools. I got my pneumatic squeezer, and I'm going to use my pneumatic for these parts, and then I will switch after the pneumatic. I will switch to the C frame, which is right there, and my new behind the fan there, which is my new tables that I built for it, and we will get those dimpled as well. But just stay tuned. Just wanted to share with you. I would say give yourself, each spar is going to take about an hour. You can probably, when you go back to the pneumatic, you're going to cut it down by half, so about 30 minutes to 40 minutes with the pneumatic. If you're going to use the drill, I could definitely tell you, I would give yourself, it's about an hour per. So, all right, enough jabber John, chit chat. It ain't getting this plane built, so I got to get back to work. Oh, YouTube, I wanted to show you, one thing that happens when you do a couple hundred of these or 1,000 of these dimplings, you learn, you get a pattern, you get things that work out for you. I want to share something with you. So with the die, I'm going to lift this arm up. One of the things to make life easier, what I do is I allow the piece to spring, and then it will actually find the die set automatically. See how I do that? So I don't lift the die all the way up, and I just kind of bring my hole over. Oh, see, this is the problem with one hand though. So I just kind of leave the die. If you guys saw how I did that, I just bring it up a little bit, pull the part down, move it over to the next hole, and use the springiness of the actual skin to actually pop. It will pop itself onto the set. And I just wanted to share that with you, make life a little bit easier. The other thing too with this thing, a lot of guys will go all the way up and all the way down, all the way up. That's a wasted moment. Just bring it up enough so you can get the skin on there. And then once the skin's on there, just bring it down. So that way it will, it's just a lot. You're going to do this several thousand, I would say 60,000 times. I think there's, I don't know how many rivets are in the skin, but there's 60,000 rivets in the total plane. So you're going to do this 30,000 times. So don't kill yourself. Don't bring it all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. Just keep it right where you're, so then, small enough so you can get the piece to kind of spring. See how that just kind of sprung on there? Now, if I wasn't holding my camera, I was holding the other hand, it would stay on there. Because what I do is I just kind of place my hand on the bottom. The other thing is if you don't deburr your edges, if you're gonna hold the piece, make sure you have gloves on. If the edges aren't deburred, because you will slice your hands up. I deburr my edges, but a lot of guys will wait until they're ready to prime to deburr. Word of caution: if you do not deburr your part before doing this, make sure you have some kind of gloves on. So that's about it. Just wanted to share that with you as we run down here. This is the last few holes on this skin, on both skins, and we'll be done for the day. Well, hello, YouTube. Ooh, what a day. Another successful day in the shop. Operation Countersink, Dimple, skin dimpling, both skins, done. Done. It was a 4-hour day today. It took about 2 hours. About 2 hours for the spars, roughly. Hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes, whatever. Then the dimpling of the ribs, that was pretty quick. You know, a couple, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for that, if that. Then the skins. Whew. The skins. Woo-wee. And this, you know, and I guess this is a good time to tell you guys this. So I have decided that, you know, I talked to Vans the other day, or 2 weeks ago. I think I mentioned it in another video. They are having some major issues with COVID, shipping, all of that, getting parts over for quick builds, getting them back, getting them on the dock, getting them offloaded the dock and everything. So I have decided that I'm going to not quick build the fuselage. So I am going to go ahead and have the fuselage shipped as a kit, and then I'm going to build that up. And then depending on where I am at with that, with the finishing, because I can put the tail and the tail and the fuselage together. I also talked with the hangers, the guys with the hanger. I got my list on two other airports in the area. Feel like I'm getting a runaround, but I'm not. I checked with my airport here, Dunellen X35. They are finally starting to do their building of the hangars. And so I was talking to the manager out there, and he's telling me summer. It was supposed to be done last November. Then it was supposed to be done this summer. Then now it's being done next summer. So you know where this is going. I'm not saying anything. I'm not making accusations or anything, but it is what it is, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to build the fuselage, get the finishing kit. I'm not going to put in the avionics. But that will allow me to at least get the fuselage tail and all that mated up. Well, I won't be able to mate the tail necessarily up because of the size of the space I got here. But I can build the fuselage in here. I'm pretty confident I can do that. And then depending on that, I'll make the decision on the wings, what I want to do with the wings. But right now I can tell you we're going to do the quick build. So with that, now that I'm doing the quick build, or no longer doing the quick build of the fuselage, I'm going to change out the way I prime the airplane. The SEM primer, because, you know, when you get the airplane from Vans, it's already primed, and it's epoxy prime, which is a better prime. Always, you know, we all know that. I love the SEM product, but since I am going to be building the fuselage and everything, and the wings, I am going to switch up my priming to use an epoxy prime, and I'll do that. I have actually a 5-stage HPLV system, so I could have done that a while back, but I just wanted to see how this prime held up the SEM. I like it. I think it's a great primer for a rattle can, you know, but if you're, you know, since I'm having to prime the whole airplane, it looks like anyways, I might as well move into the epoxy prime. It was one thing doing a couple parts here and there, but now it looks like I'm going to have to do the whole airplane, so I'm going to switch over. It's more cost effective. The SEM, by the time you add up the ACO and everything in the SEM, I mean, it's almost 3 times as expensive with the rattle can. So I'm going to start doing that. That was what I was going to tell you. But wow, what a great day in the shop. Got 2 spars, got the spars countersunk, all the ribs, like I said, the skins, everything's ready to go. I just have to come back in. So next order of operation will be to come in. I got to deburr some things. There's some other parts I got to scarf them up. I'll get them ready for priming. I'm going to sem them. I'll go ahead and paint those with sem to finish those up, but that'll be it. I'll just use up the last batch, the last bit of sem that I have, and then I'll switch over. So I got everything over here on the bench. It's ready to go. So next couple this week coming up, I'll be back in. I'll be scratching, Scott Bright everything, deburring everything, making sure it's good to go, and then I will get it shot with the primer, and then we rivet. And I'm looking forward to the riveting. I really am. Dimpling. Oh my gosh, it's a pain and everything, but it was an experience. I'm glad I did it. So it is what it is, right? It's building an airplane. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? So I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying this. And do you know how I stay motivated doing this? Is I just love doing it, number one. But really, I kind of build, with project management, you have milestones. Well, I have many milestones. I use some of the skills that I use in my other line of business for this, and I try to meet those goals daily, and I don't go over them because it'll burn you out. And you don't want to get burnt out on something like this, because that's when your quality, forget about you giving up and walking away, right? And all that money and time and all that invested, but your quality goes down. And the last thing you want to do is not have a good quality product, especially with an airplane. So my goal today was to get the countersink and the dimpling done, or at least started. I got it done, and I feel pretty good. So I'm not doing it anymore, though. I'm sure I could sit back, prime, do all that, or scarf and deburr. But hey, I'm done for the day. Call it a day. Go home, watch some football. It is Sunday. Watch some football. Root on my teams. That's right. I got a couple. It's kind of like college ball. I root for Tennessee when they're not playing Florida, and I always root for Florida. What a game yesterday against Alabama. Good job, guys. Proud of you. Proud of you. It's just amazing, those guys, those athletes, college athletes. So today I go watch the pros, and Formula One's not this week. So I didn't have any Formula One to do this morning. That's why I got in a little bit earlier in the shop today. So that's about it. I just like to say thanks for joining me. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification button. Leave a comment about building the airplane or anything. I'll be glad to answer your questions. I've gotten some great feedback from some of you, and hopefully I've been able to give you guys some advice to help you build your plane. So with that, I just want to say, take the time to spend with your loved ones today. Tell them how much you appreciate them, and like always, be thinking about you guys, and God bless you.